TimeOut with Tim. Oh.
Open up your mind and let me in. Open up your mind and let me in. Open up your mind and let me in.
Shadows cast against the pews, praying for love to carry us through. We've got nothing left to lose, 'cause wherever we run, our heart is immune. A wise man falls 7 times and gets back up again. Rubber lives under my skin. Rubber lives under my skin in a cold world full of sin, where wounds come from a friend. Rubber lives under my skin. Rubber lives under my.
Welcome to Time Out with Timo. I'm your host, Tim Owens. As always, very grateful and happy to be here today. I'm joined by my guest artist, CHRISTIANA. How you doing, CHRISTIANA? Welcome to
I'm
the show.
doing great, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you've been a very talented singer, in my opinion, for a very long time. I've seen a lot of your videos on Instagram. What got you started in music?
So I got started pretty early. I can't really say that I was, inspired by it. Anybody that got me really started. What got me started is just a gift from God. I discovered that I could sing like around 8 or 9 years old. And then my mom found out and she said, we're gonna do something with this.
Okay.
So from there, I received a scholarship actually to get singing lessons and piano lessons. I do not play piano.
Okay.
Singing lessons and piano lessons,
Okay.
and to just kind of hone the talent and to develop it. I did not continue with the piano. That was not my gift, but
Okay.
I continued singing. I picked up the guitar around, let's see, can't remember, probably around like 15 years old. I bought a guitar from the pawn shop, and somebody promised, as always, that they're going to teach you, but they didn't teach you. So, so it
They
was
never
just
do.
me and God. It was just me and God. He would like download songs, and I would cling on the guitar and just play around with it and see what became of it. I before writing songs, I actually started with poetry, so I was always really good at creative writing
Okay.
and I started writing poetry. And then when I got the guitar and I realized, oh, I can make songs, then, the rest was history.
Okay. So let me make sure I heard this correctly. So you taught yourself how to play the guitar.
No. So, so I purchased a guitar, and I was playing around with the guitar,
Okay.
but I learned my first chords. I forgot to mention that I learned my first chords from a guy that I was somewhat dating. I think it was a situationship, but anyway, something beautiful came from it because I learned those 4 chords,
Okay.
and I wrote pretty much all of my songs on like the 4 to 5 chords that he taught me. So I'm not fluent on the guitar, but I know enough
Enough
to
to
write my songs.
Hey,
Hmm.
first of all, don't sell yourself short, okay? A lot of people can't play at all. Okay, let's not do that. Like I said, you learned something, and I'm glad
I
you got
did.
I'm glad you got something out of a bad situation, because a
Right.
lot of
It
people
wasn't bad, but
I,
it just it
I'm just
wasn't for
teasing.
me.
I'm just teasing. It's all good. I'm just teasing. Hey, but I tell you what, it's kind of cool that your mom saw your talent and kind of
Yeah.
helped the water the plant, as they say. Because some people don't
Right.
have that type of support, man. They'll say, hey, stop all that noise, but she never did that, huh?
No, she never did that. She is
Oh,
my biggest cheerleader. Like until like my without my mom, I
mhm.
probably would not have, pursued music
Uh-huh.
because I was, sort of like a what do you call those things? I think it's called a hermit.
Uh-huh.
Those animals that like stay in their shell all the time,
Oh
like
yeah.
kind of like a turtle, but
Mhm.
not a turtle. But so I was like really, I guess I was just like really sheltered. I was
Mhm.
just very shy and introverted. And my mom is the one that, told me, Christy, God wouldn't give this to you just to hide it. He wouldn't give it to you to put it under a rock. So you need to do something with it. And so that stuck with me. And
Yeah.
honestly, I've tried to hide it, but
Mhm.
my mom is always the
But,
one that, Christy, you got to put it out there. You got to put it out there.
but
You
yeah,
got to
but
put it
you know
out
what?
there.
But that that's kind of an artist thing, you know. Like most
Yeah.
artists are, introverts, and on stage and on on camera, they come alive a lot. I mean, that's to me, that's the thing about being an artist. And I bet that's a part of you that, even with myself, with doing comedy, different things like that, a lot of people don't understand the creative process. They don't understand how energy is a big thing, how some people can kind of, I wouldn't say cause a writer's block, but they can kind of, they can throw you off a little bit. And
Right.
sometimes you
Right.
have to isolate to kind of
Right.
recharge the batteries a little bit.
That
Because
resonates with me a
right.
lot. Like honestly, being by myself, just me
Uh-huh.
and God is what like charges up my battery. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna like I'm not the social butterfly. A lot of people think that I am.
Uh-huh.
My smile is very inviting, but I
Mhm.
am a complete introvert. And I think it's because I'm very like I can sense things a lot. I'm
Yes.
like an empath,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
sense and I absorb energy, and that can be draining at times, right?
Agreed. No,
It
and that's true because
can
this
be draining at times.
agreed because when the wrong person comes around you, you can feel it.
You
But you
can
can tell
feel
when
it.
someone happy, who's truly a good person, that's inspiring, you feel
Right,
that too. So it's good to have a
right,
muse sometime. And some
right,
people don't understand why you can't hear their problems, or why you don't particularly want to be around them, because it can be
right.
overwhelming.
It can be
And a lot,
very overwhelming.
oh, I think a
Yeah,
lot.
it's
Yeah, I know.
especially
I
someone
know.
that's a creative and like how you
Yes,
talked about someone that's very sensitive, which I am.
yes,
I literally write songs about everything. I write songs, I'm not one of those songwriters that, just sit there and have like a structured process. I
yes,
literally like it's a cathartic process for me. It's something that I do to release the strong emotions that I'm feeling.
yes.
And if I'm around different people all the time, imagine how many songs.
No, agreed,
Imagine how
agreed.
many songs I would have to release. And it's funny because I have a huge I have so many songs, like books,
Mhm.
songbooks. And
Yeah,
it's because that's the way that I would release those emotions that would well up on the inside of me, like
yes,
from interacting with people or whatever experience that I've had. I would release those emotions through my music.
yes.
And sometimes it's like I don't feel like feeling right now. Just leave me be. So,
Yeah.
so
You
I
know,
would end up isolating. Yeah.
yes, and you know what? And one other thing about that is that I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I've had those challenges myself, and people don't really understand how it can be when it comes to marriage and relationship, different things.
Mhm,
When you're in that creative process, or you're trying to develop, like discover who you are and develop your
mhm.
craft and be better at it, sometimes the wrong people in your life, they really can stop your growth, because they can have these emotional needs or energetic pulls, but they don't understand when you say, listen, I can't do this isn't working for me. And they're like, I don't get
Right.
it. Like, how come you
Right.
can't be like everyone else? And how come you can't do that and still do this? And you're like,
And
well,
still do this.
this
That's not
like,
how I'm wired.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for years I've been saying this, and
Yeah.
I've had several friends that are comedians, and they've been married, divorced, and this and that several times, because it was
Hmm.
always challenging. Most people who are entertainers or artists, a lot of times they don't usually go down that road all the way until they establish where they need to be, because it's so hard along the way.
It
Because
is so, yes, you're
yes,
so right about that.
because you're not just a go to work and come home person. There's more layers to you than that, and they just can't understand it. The more you try to explain it, the harder it is. I know. See,
It
look at
is.
yeah, I
You
know.
did it. You
I,
did it.
I know all about that
Yeah.
all too
Yeah.
well. So this is what we're gonna do. So do you have some albums? Have you released any albums since you moved from California to Atlanta?
Yeah, so in 2021, I believe, I released my first project. It's called Rubber.
Okay.
That was I that those songs I wrote when I was in my 20s,
Okay.
but they were actually, I brought them to life
Okay.
uh, in 2021,
Okay.
and it's a 5 song EP,
Hmm.
and it is, it was just inspired by my life of resilience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I pride myself in being just a really resilient person. I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
struggled with mental health challenges
Uh-huh.
throughout my life. I was, diagnosed around in my early 20s, but
Uh-huh.
I struggled for a very long time with anxiety and depression, and I didn't know what was going on. I knew that, I was always sad, and,
Hmm.
I was, always under the weather, but I didn't really understand why.
Okay.
And my music was very therapeutic for me because I didn't understand these emotions that I was having, and
Yeah.
but I released them through my music.
Yeah.
So what was the question that you asked? I forgot.
No, 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 no. You're fine. You're fine. That's no, that's perfectly.
Okay. Did I
That's
answer
not
your
you.
question?
You did answer the question. That's fine.
Okay.
But I want to tell you something too. When you said resilience, my first comedy album was titled Mr. Resilient.
Oh,
And I
really?
tell you what, boy, did I get tested? I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
I went through it. Yeah, I mean, and that was before some of the challenges that I had to overcome after that. I said, God said, okay, be careful what you name things, because
Be careful
oh,
what you
yeah,
name it.
be careful what you name, because every ounce of resilience I had in me was tested at one point, but I got through it.
Yeah.
So this is what we'll do. So do you mind giving us a snippet? Can you sing something for us today?
Yes, I can sing something for you guys.
Okay.
So I'll sing Row. I'll
Okay.
sing a snippet of Row.
Okay. This is your original song, correct?
This is my original song. So I wrote this song. It's about persistence. It's about the
Okay.
journey of faith, and, the obstacles that you will face along that journey, because
Yes.
you're going to face giants. That's that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
When you're pursuing purpose, and, God has called you to something greater, you're, along that path, you're going to pursue, you're going to, meet obstacles and
Yeah.
challenges. And so this song, Row, it's about being just persistent,
Yeah.
and about, moving forward regardless of what you face. Here we go. This is called Rome. So I'm at risk of pushing off the shore, and I may seem unfit to take the shore. And I know not just what I'm headed towards, and uncertain of it, but I'm determined, and we roll, and we'll set the seas on fire. We roll, as the waters climb higher. We roll, till all my fears they expire. We roll, roll. There it
Oh
is.
wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. You have such a beautiful voice, man. I mean,
Thank you. Thank
phenomenal.
you.
And more beautiful lyrics, very, very, very passionate. So I could definitely feel the emotion in that song.
And that's that's what I like to hear, because
Oh yeah.
I feel like my music is the type of music that really penetrates your heart. It's,
Hmm.
it's soulful, it's, it's raw, it's
Yeah,
real, and I like for people to feel something when they hear it. Not just smile, not just dance, but I
absolutely.
want them to feel something real when they hear it. So
Absolutely.
that means
Absolutely.
a lot. Yeah.
Absolutely. I tell you what, we definitely have to do some work together. But I said my next event. I know we're not able to make the one
Absolutely.
that I have in June, but maybe July that we can do something. But I would love to have you come out and
Absolutely.
sing and perform some of your original songs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am open, and I'm willing to just share the gift that God has given me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if people want to purchase your music, Christiana, how can they get your album?
So you can, so I'm on, all of the different music platforms. So
Mhm.
Spotify, Apple Music. Follow me on Instagram. If you want the music, you can go to Spotify or Apple Music. But I'm really trying to build a strong community, online community. So please follow me at Christiana Ekeke. And I should have more music out soon. I'm actually planning on relaunching
Mhm.
the Rubber project.
Okay.
I did that because that was my first project. I didn't really know how to promote it and what to do with it. I was just kind
Yeah.
of like, I promoted it for like a week and that was it. And I
Okay.
realized like, no, that's not how it works.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
I'm like, oh, okay, I promoted it. Okay, now what do I do? But I'm a little bit more knowledgeable now,
Hmm.
and so I'm gonna relaunch that. I'm actually working on some music right now,
Hmm.
but I want to relaunch Rubber and give it an opportunity to shine and to
Okay.
to to kind of reach more people.
Hmm.
And then after that, I'm planning on coming out with another project. So hopefully when I come out with that new project,
Okay.
you'll welcome me back on your show.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I can sing a little bit too now. We may have to get us a duet going here now. Let's.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, I'm open.
Okay. Well, man, phenomenal. Well, Christiana, I want to thank you so much for taking the time with Timo to come on my show today. I mean, it's definitely been a blessing and an honor to have you on. So I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate, really do appreciate
Thank you so much.
it. Okay, so thanks for stopping by. Definitely be checking for your music, and I'll do what I can to help you get the word out. So thank you for coming
Okay. Thank you so much, Timo. I appreciate you.
on. Okay, bye.
Here we go again, it's after midnight. Sitting on your porch under moonlight. Hand in hand, we're holding so tight. Here we go again in the noonday. Waiting by the phone on your lunch break. Just to hear you breathing slowly. Ooh, I got a crush on you. I can tell the way my cheeks turn rouge when you walk in the room. And ooh, you got a crush on me. I can tell the way your eyes start blazing when I get you gazing.
If everybody winning, who's losing? Man, who's losing? I'm trying to make it make sense. It's like it's so confusing. I see the pain in your eyes from all the lonely nights. I swear I know how I feel. It just don't feel right.